not that. And we make eye contact. Live. What's up? What's up? What's up? I am Crunk Chocolate. I will be joined by some of my other show bros sometime. They'll get here or not. Either way, it's a vibe. Happy Thursday, y'all. This is the Lit Stream. We have three most wonderful guests for you. Ash, Simo, Connor Moore. We out here, people. Give you a bit of time for people to hop on, for me to share this. This is usually when I have show bros. I can banter and be like, hey, talk for a second. And so let's keep going. Champions League. I want to talk about it. I don't have the lit stream doc up. There we go. Cool. Oh, all right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go ahead and bring on the first guest. So she has told me she has been on multiple times, and I don't believe her. I have confirmed, but it's just a shtick I have to go down on. I've put myself here, and some people might back down or say that they're wrong. Nah, you don't know me. I ain't backing down. She has never been on, so I'm very excited to bring her on for the first time. Shady Gang, give it to her for
You
one.
are wrong for that. You are out here
It is
lying out your teeth, lying to the public. No, don't do
First
that.
time, she's a long time listener, first time caller kind of thing.
Oh, wait, don't do that.
No,
Don't
this is
do
the
that.
first time I've seen you in this kit, is it not?
Okay, but this isn't the
Hey,
first time I've been on this show,
got her.
It
and
is
I know how.
absolutely not the first time
It's
she's
not.
been.
It's not. It's not.
Thank you. Don't play games with me, but it is the first time you've seen me in this kit because
It looks
I
great.
figured it was a good day to wear it.
I just realized it's the original,
Yeah, I
not even the new
hunted.
one.
Yeah, I hunted for this kit for years before I was able to get it. Because the new one isn't here as yet. So I said, who doesn't love a nice little throwback?
Uh, Everybody. Well, I don't want to say everybody, but at least I do. I do. So
I
I'll
do.
do it myself. Yes. Okay. So let's actually start at when I saw you in New York at the match. How was your
Oh,
Man
oh
City
yeah.
Milan experience?
Oh, it was so good. What was it? I was there with my dad and one of my cousins, so I took them to the game. And it was it was fun. I usually sit in and because I've been to like Yankee to watch a lot of NYCFC game before they decided to change the time to 7 o'clock p.m. Because who the fuck does that? I guess they do, whatever. Um, and I used to sit in the supporter section because like that's like where it was. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. Don't come for me in the chat. Don't come for me on Twitter, whatever. The crowd was dead.
Yes.
I was disappointed.
It was awful.
I was so upset. I'm like, you are sitting in the supporters section and there is nothing happening. Move. Get move, please. So I was so annoyed by that. They were annoyed. Like they annoyed me, the crowd. I'm like, y'all were dead. What is going on? Whatever. But other than that, I enjoyed myself. I had me a good time. Hated having to like get in. Like Holland had already scored by the time
Mm.
I was still in line. Some in line celebrating, everybody looking at me weird. I'm like, y'all clearly don't know how to pull out your phones and watch the game as you're waiting to get on it. Get your life together. But it was fun. It was really good. Like I really enjoyed the game. It was just regular. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Game matters when the season actually kicks off. So it was good. And then it was also good getting to see you too. So it was nice. It was nice.
Uh, and what's so awful about how sad the crowd was? It was like 90%, 95% City fans.
Mm-hmm.
I found out from a connection that there was a weird little flub with the tickets. With the pre-release, it was only available to Man City fans. It wasn't available also to AC Milan fans. So
Oh,
that's why
wow.
there was just City fans everywhere. And
Even more embarrassing. Have some shame.
yeah,
Have some damn shame. but we did outnumber them because everywhere I look,
It was
it
every.
w- we were everywhere, and y'all were silent, and then
Mhm.
y'all tried to do the damn wave. That pissed me off even more.
They did it in North Carolina too.
That pissed me off even more. I said, somebody please score to stop this. And then AC Milan scored. Or whoever we were playing, they scored. I said, that's not what I meant.
Oh
But
man,
thank you.
it's yeah, that was a very man. The wave, America, they haven't
Dead.
got the memo yet, but
They
I
need to dead it.
and
The
I
Please.
reality is
Dead
they're
it.
going to do that at every sporting event for whatever reason. So we just got to get accustomed to it because they did it in Ohio too. But I
Oh.
have a question
Mm-hmm.
because I felt that so in North Carolina we weren't technically in the supporter section, I don't think, but in Ohio I was. So it's like behind the goal, the entire thing
Yeah.
in theory is city fans. I wonder if the issue is not that people weren't trying to cheer and chant and all that stuff, sing, but just that our stadiums aren't built to hold the noise in like that. These college stadiums aren't built that way because there's well, you were at Yankee Stadium, but like Carolina, Ohio State, huge stadium, no roof, so it's like I can hear the people in my little area, but I
Mm-hmm.
can't hear the people that are down below me that are maybe singing and screaming their ears or their lungs out. So I wonder if that's part of it too. Maybe it feels dead or more dead than it actually is. I
did
guess I
not
don't know.
hear the sound
Nah.
crew in North Carolina. They were rocking the entire time.
Yes, yes, and
They
again,
were way on the other end.
Yeah. And the
yeah,
thing
that's fair.
is,
That's fair.
I've been
It's
to
disappointing.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead,
having
go ahead.
gone to 3 of these,
Mm.
or 4 if you count 2 this year, 3 different years. It's always disappointing for me because what the reason I'm going is one, the team that's on the pitch, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get the experience that I see on TV, that I hear people talk about, whatever, right? You see them singing and you can hear it through the TV. You want to be a part of it. I want to go see my team, but also sing the songs and the chants and all the stuff that goes along the full experience. So this is the closest we can get. And so you go there with this expectation and then it doesn't live up to it. And then it's disappointing. And I agree with that.
Yeah. And here's why I think that is, right? Because I've been to MLS games and cheering, chanting is it's never an issue. Like I've lost my voice being at Yankee Stadium, like yelling, screaming, chanting, and all of the things. And my thing is, and I don't know if what I'm about to say is going to make people upset or some type of ways, but a majority or a good amount of fans that are going to like watch these exhibition games because like that's what they are. A majority of them, they're going because it's like, oh, it's an exhibition game, like this team that I like, they're about to come play here, so like I'm gonna buy a ticket, I'm gonna go. How big is their investment in fans that are similar to us, right, in mindset of like, yeah, we're going because of one, the team that's playing, but also the atmosphere, right? There's this, it's I don't know how to describe what's the word I'm looking for. It's this type of culture, right? That's there that we want to be able to replicate, but that can be replicated when you have a good amount of the fans that are going that are essentially just casuals.
Yeah.
They're not like the ones that are like they're going to be in a supporters club. Well, some of them are because New York Sky Blues were also there, right? Are they going? Are they like flying over to watch the games? And then, but not that that's like a need to like have. But like, there's so many different factors that I think just negates that being able to happen there. Because I'm like, yeah, if you're like, oh, we are die hard and we're like here to like bring the drums to do all of that, it's a different story as opposed to like you have fans that are just like casual, they like the team, they're gonna watch, but they're not that invested in all of the culture part of it as like we are, if that makes sense.
Oh, 1,000%. I was losing it the entire time, and I get that it's an exhibition, but I'm gonna have some fun even with the DJ before the match started. I was out there dancing. And shout out to Sal who was kicking it with me. He said to me, "It's like you're having the best time. I love
Yeah,
this."
yeah, it was.
And yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't I? Besides, I don't know none of these people. Like, why would I not dance? This DJ is killing it. That's what you're supposed to do when a
Mhm,
DJ is doing a good job. Is you dance.
mhm.
And I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
yeah.
all
Yeah.
yeah.
I also, want to say something. I feel like, sometimes, American match going, crowd at
Mm,
whatever sport, sometimes they can be a little dead.
yeah, and it's all sports really. It's
All
not.
sports. So I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, ooh, I've been to games where I'm like, ooh, this is lit. This is amazing. Not that game. That was not.
No, that wasn't. No, that was.
It was not. It was not lit.
Ooh, what's up, my guy?
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
How's it going,
Yeah,
Ash?
man. Yeah, man. Okay.
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
She's glad to be on for her first appearance on the show.
You know what? You know what? If this is the joke that we gonna run with, whatever.
Hey, I'm actually just excited that they're joining in with me in the joke because there have been many times on account where they have just let me jump off the deep end all by myself and just laugh. And in fact, they all joined with us in person and getting up on me. So you hear Jared giggling, like he knows.
No, that was Lando, but
Oh, sorry.
I'm stuffing my face full of food if I'm off camera. But yeah, I could be like, how rude it is to treat our guests that way, to not remember them. That like they're not memorable or something. I mean, who does that?
Yes, I mean that was kind of the energy I was expecting. So good job, you've done it. Now let's keep it moving. Let's talk about Man City in the Champions League, though, because first off, we got the first ball in the new Champions League, so no one can ever
Which
say
is shit. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. This new format is shit. I saw it, I clicked it, and I left. Somebody have to explain it to me because I
Damn.
genuinely, I'm like, what the hell is like? Why did we take something good and ruin it? What are we doing?
yeah, they gamified it truly. I like the fact that you're playing a different team. I actually don't hate that. I don't hate that. I think it's too like why couldn't we have just kept the 6 games? Why are we out doing 8 now? Like I don't get that.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to like truly deep dive, but it just seems like they've gamified everything. Like you get points for almost everything on top of you winning and losing, and that's technically based off of a side ranking, which I
What?
guess only really matters in times where there's like tie breaks and things like that. It's all weird.
It's
How
basically like the NCAA
hmm
March Madness or the NBA playoffs. At the end of the day,
they
we're
know.
gonna play this little. We're gonna play these little games up front to determine the ranking, and then once the ranking is determined, at that point it just becomes a straight playoff. Before we used to have to do, we would redraw at the semifinal round or redraw at this
Mhm.
round or whatever. Now it's just there's a bracket. You're gonna play those first 8 games, and that's gonna determine where you fit in that bracket. And then from there, it's just bracket play. You play a game, you keep on going. You win, you keep going. I assume that. Do we know if there's 2 legs once you get to? Is it like the
Yeah, I
knockout round
think
at that point?
it's still staying. I think that part's still staying.
Yeah. So it just becomes a bracket with two legs, basically.
Okay. All right. Well, let's quickly run through. Actually, let's sit here. Ash, I feel like you still got some stuff on your soul. What's going
I
on?
just really hate this. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not sorry. I just really freaking hate this. Like, what are you doing to my game? This is terrible. Like, what was wrong with it? I mean, on top of the fact that you're like adding in more games, you're packing the calendar, players barely are getting any rest now. Now you're overcomplicating who like what happens. Like I love that extra teams like get to be in it. Like that's great. But this is such a shit format. And maybe I have to like see how it plays out to like maybe change my mind and I won't. But I don't like this. I don't like this format. So like we can like move on and talk about like the team city or face is facing.
Yes. No, I'm fair. I'm 1,000% with
But
that.
I just hate
Uh,
this format.
I'm just Club Brugge in this new format. Despite all the change, we still get to potentially ruin their Champions League experience. Shout out to tradition. If nobody says anything, it sounds like I'm being mean. I need somebody to
Wait,
like.
okay, so give me a
Bro,
sec.
you know
Because
you
you
being
froze for
mean,
a little bit. You
picking on
froze
those
for a
itty
little
bitty
bit.
clubs.
I mean,
So wait, who were you picking on?
Club Brugge.
You
We
know.
play them.
From like Belgium, right?
Yep, we play them quite often.
yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
we
Belgium.
were bound to get one of our favorite clubs that we always end up playing, and we always end up, scoring a good, somewhat amount of goals against. It's tradition. It's what needs to happen. Okay, so now
I mean, I
people,
guess
yeah.
it could have been worse. We could have got like Shakhtar Donetsk or something like that. We used to get them all the time too.
Now
Are
that
they even
is
actually in this?
tradition.
Yeah.
Are they actually in this? I don't even know if they're in this.
Now that I'm looking at this, I thought this wasn't going to be too tough, but honest. Oh, hold on. There's no. Actually, look at this. I've already turned on mine. We're going undefeated, baby. We're not losing a match in this. Well, nothing changes. New Champions League. Who's Inter? Who's Paris? They ain't got Mbappe. They're gonna be so lost. I'm looking forward to all of
Wait,
this.
were you worried about Paris if they had him?
Yep.
In group stage, yes, he's a monster in group stage. What you mean?
Sorry, I'm not.
When there's no pressure, he is the Terminator.
I'm not impressed. Not impressed. Sorry.
One. Oh, I mean, he's been struggling at Real, but it's going to take time for him to get
Yeah.
acclimated to the new league and the warm weather.
If I'm being kind, like I usually say, to our fans when a player joins, he needs a season or a couple of months, to get acclimated. So I will give him that. Um,
But being
and
paid.
that's as far as I can go. That's
Yeah.
as far as I
Yes.
can
Yes.
go.
Okay. So enough of my slander. Which of these teams are you actually like maybe not worried about, but who do you think could give us a tough time? Because I what I want to look at is the distance of like flight to like Sparta Praga in this last. I'm gonna have to definitely practice how to say much more off camera. But like how far are they going to have to fly? Because I think that's really gonna. I mean, naturally the talent is the talent, but it still makes things weird and difficult.
I would say like the team probably Inter, like them, like it's like the one where I'm like, I can see this being fun, and I can see us maybe like getting a little bit doing some stupid ass shit in the back, just doing stupid shit in the back. But other than that, like there isn't that many teams that we're facing that I'm like, oh, they're going to give us a lot of problems. Like, I feel as if the problems that's going to happen is going to be one, we either don't show up, we do something stupid in the back line because somebody decides to like not defend or not run after the ball, and boom, they score. Um, yeah, or if Rodri's not playing, that too.
Oh, you still worried about that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
COVID, Kovacic hasn't healed your heart, or what about?
Oh, I love Kova. I I
Rodriguez?
do.
There are a few people who could possibly like just for one match. I'm not saying like Rodri goes down because I honestly I don't even think he's going to be playing this weekend.
Oh, he's not. I don't listen. I do not need to see him on a pitch
Right?
for all of September. That man's legs needs to heal. Okay. However, he's important, and I love Kova, but there's certain things that Rodri does that he doesn't do as yet.
I mean,
So I'm not gonna slander my boy because I do love
Yeah.
him. I
Oh,
do.
1,000%. But
But there's a learning curve, and he's not over the curve as yet.
uh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, other than the first two pots,
Mhm.
it does get easier further down. But Real Madrid, they're gonna have a little fun with. And then we got Bayern Company. Oh, Company. Oh,
I'm so sorry, company. I'm gonna need you to hold that. Ooh,
and
I
this is
can't.
painful too.
I can't wish any harm against company and his even though I hate
What are
his
we saying about Vincent?
Nothing. Just
no.
we like. I feel for him, but and we care about him, but I also can't root for Bayern or I.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't.
it's
I
like
can't.
it's a tough spot.
Yeah, I'm
Did
like,
you root for Burnley last year, or
No,
at any point? Because
no.
Burnley feels to me like it was just as, um,
I mean, for
I guess, toxic
yeah.
or
yeah,
hard to root
yeah,
for
Hmm.
than
yeah.
say a Bayern Munich. So
I watched them.
I did,
I
and
root
good.
for Vincent Company to have success no matter where he's at. So I'm gonna just suck it up and deal with it. But am I a fan of Bayern? Not necessarily, but I want them to win every game except for when they play us.
Yeah.
No, because them winning all those games leads up to them beating us.
What
They're playing
Oh
with.
no, don't go that far.
No, but I'm just saying, I don't even want to wish them any well. Like, crash out, my guy.
Listen, my thing is, I don't want to
Relax.
wish Byron well. I do not want to wish Harold Kane any type of
Oh yeah,
well.
he's there, bro. I forgot about that dude.
Okay? I do not. But Vinny, I need to see him succeed. I just wish he would do it somewhere else. That's not that club.
Yeah, why does he going from Burnley to Bayern? That's like painful. I don't. Yeah, that's painful. But yeah, man, you get some success. Okay, how do you see this match this weekend going against West Ham, the Hammers, the Bubblers?
Oh, God. If I'm being real with you right now, my brain hasn't even gotten to Saturdays yet. I'm like, I need to get to tomorrow at 4 o'clock p.m.
That's fair.
But it's gonna be a good game. I don't think we'll have too much trouble with them. I think we'll be fine. I'm not expecting any big hiccups. And if it happens, I am always going to say, anytime a team scores against us, it's because we do something stupid. It's never because they pull something magical out of the air. It's because we fuck up. And so I can see us. I'm going to say something. I'm going to say I think we're going to keep a clean sheet
Okay, I like that.
against them. I think we will, and I think we'll score at least 2 goals. 2 goals. 2 goals and a clean sheet.
I
Edison, don't make me look dumb.
I I feel like I am our show's Ederson uh, supporter.
Oh, I love him.
I do too.
And at the same time,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
make me look dumb.
yeah. He's I'm just maybe it's just the beginning of the season. He's feeling sleepy. He's getting it figured out.
Wake
I
up. What
mean,
is he doing over the summer? Wake up.
I think that there is still a residual effect from last season. I think that hearing all of the support
Mm,
for Stefan Ortega when he was hurt and he couldn't get on the pitch to show what he could do, I think that kind of messed with him a little bit. And then you had the summer with the Saudi, and maybe I go over there, and it didn't work out. I just think he's just not mentally 100% yet. Physically, he's fine, all that stuff, but I just think there's he's got to work himself through maybe the disappointment about the money that he could have made, maybe the frustration with, hey, I go out there and I do this week in, week out without any issues for the most part. But when I make a mistake, I get, because again,
yeah.
I say the easiest job in sports is to be the backup quarterback because you never have to get on the field and you never have to show what you can or cannot do. So it's like, oh, the starting quarterback, when they go out there, we see their flaws week in, week out. Even if they throw for 3 touchdowns, but they threw those 2 interceptions and we lost. Oh, it was their fault, right? They did a lot right, but they did some stuff wrong too. The backup quarterback never even gets in that position to make those mistakes. So I feel like it was easy to root for Ortega, but I will say when Ortega got his chance, he played well.
And he took it.
And so now it's like, wait a minute. I just think there's some mental stuff there. And again, he would never admit that, but I just think there's something going on there. And that's what's got him not playing at 100% at the moment.
Hey, wow, Tarek. Okay. You can tell this man has been.
I've been saying that since. Well, again, I'm sitting there in Ohio, and that man's not on the pitch nowhere. And again, they later said, oh, he had some niggles or he was a little injured or whatever. I don't think that was it. That was the week that it was decided. Okay, it's done. He's not going to go to Saudi. And when he was on the roster to be, not to start, because that was going to be Ortega's start, but he was supposed to be the backup. And from the moment I walked into the stadium, when the keepers came out to warm up, he wasn't out there. Again, I think it was some disappointment, some frustration. But you know what happened? Because he wasn't there, we got to see Ortega, and he made more big saves. So you know what happens? Every time he goes out there and he makes more big saves, people are going to cheer louder and louder and louder. And so now, if that is in your head, it's never going to get out unless you're on the pitch. So I think he just got to play his way through it. But I think that the thing that Pep has used to get the best out of our players is competition. There is no complacency, because if you're Cancelo, if you're Kyle Walker, and you don't play well, or you come back from the Euros or a World Cup and you're not on your best, you know what? There's a what is he, 18-year-old, 17-year-old kid at the time? Lewis, I'll put him in and show you that I will play without you if you're not on your game. So you better come on your game. And now that kid is going over to be a part of the England national team with the latest call-up, and Kyle Walker's not. Again, no disrespect to Kyle, but you have to bring it week in, week out, because the people on our bench start for a lot of other teams. So you got to bring it. And if you're not going to bring it every week, you run the risk of not playing.
Okay, Tarek is cooking now, I see. Ash, we will get you out of here. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me for the very first time.
Yes,
you were a great first-time guest.
Yes. Please let listeners know where to follow you or not. I don't really know how you're feeling about socials now lately.
Listen, I've just been busy with work. But you can, not the damn fireworks. Wow! Right on Momento.
I thought that was the police.
No, I was like, what
at the door. I'm like, oh, what'd you do?
Let's go,
Noriega. We need to keep going live just to make sure you make it out okay.
Oh my God. Okay, they really about to pop up. Okay, you can find me on Twitter. I tweet about football, cities specifically, and I tweet about Star Wars, but fuck them bitches right now. And I really enjoyed being on. So thank y'all for having me.
Do you like Star Wars, or do you like the Skywalker family and that's it?
Oh, no. I love Star Wars, but they're pissing me off right now. So I need to step back from them. So Skywalkers, love them, but there's more than the Skywalkers.
You're okay with other storylines, just because a lot of people feel like any other storyline other than the Skywalkers is like, oh, it's so horrible, it's this, that, and the other, whatever. So I don't know.
And we know exactly who those other people are. They look like paper, and ends with the isms and the bigotries. So, but that's the story for a different day.
I appreciate you, and we will have you on again, of course,
for a second time.
Yes.
or a second first time.
Yes, exactly. We'll figure out which angle we'll go at. But I do appreciate you planting that seed, You have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, y'all. You too.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so next guest. The next two guests are actually their first times coming on, and our next guest, he's gone crazy more than a few times with his work on social media. I'm excited to have him on and talk to him because I just know an Avi, I know an account, so we're able. I'm excited to talk to him and get to know him. Shady Gang, please give it up for Kamo. Hey, what's up?
You guys want me to follow that? What the hell? I'm supposed to follow after that? Damn.
Hey, we our guests, they bring the hot fire every single time, so there's no pressure.
All right, no pressure then.
Yes, yes. How are you? How are things? I assume you have the insane heat that I am currently experiencing because I'm 3 hours away from you in it's East Moline, Illinois.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, heat wise, I think today was just humid. I've really only stepped outside to go check the mail, honestly, today, but
Fair.
it's been it's been awful the last few days. So,
Yeah,
I've just been trying to avoid being outside as much as I can.
yeah.
But I've been all right. I've been all right, you know. Busy as always with work and everything going on, but I'm hanging in there as best as I can.
Yes. Okay. So I you don't have anything in
Yeah.
in to the cop. So I am in, do you have anything that you want to talk about? Because you mentioned before that you're not a City fan. I understand that. Like who's the club that you do support?
I've been a Manchester United fan since about, man, like middle school ish, which is so funny because like I went from not giving a damn about soccer to then a huge paradigm shift, like, fast forward years on end, and now it's probably has a run at being my favorite sport outside of, like, I guess, American football. But United fan, but the City women's team have always like caught my attention for like years. So I've always been kind of just loosely watching, whether it be when some of the Americans go over there, or I have like I have a few favorite players that are on there, just not Americans. Kelly, Hemp, and of course Bunny.
Yeah,
So I mean, I pay attention to them a little bit when I can.
yeah, yeah. Respect. They're a great squad. I was watching them yesterday morning. They're doing a tour in Australia, and
Hmm.
it was fun watching all of these new players, and they're they brought a lot of the like academy uh, young women with them too, and just so many names I didn't know, but then they were balling, and it,
Right.
this is this is a part of the club that I had yet to see with the women's team because the friendlies last year weren't shown, and I don't know how many of those players they brought and played and things like that. Well, actually, there wasn't one last year because it was the World Cup, but it was just 2 games. Yes, but being able to have this availability where they're watching Manchester City, they just fully embraced the Man City women's account because they used to do just
Yeah.
like one account for everything, but now there's a Man City women account on all of the major social media apps. That's really cool to see
Okay.
because they're doing numbers and are in our like top 5 most like viewed anything's on like YouTube. 3 of them are women's, and I'm pretty sure the first 2 are women's football. It's like our watch alongs and stuff like that. It like the people want the content, and we
Oh
need to
yeah.
put it out there and make it available for people to watch it. And I know the conversation was always, we don't know if the people will be interested, and now we have it here. So I just really hope that they
Hmm.
take advantage of the money because they don't need to they should be taking everybody for every cent, penny, uh, dollar, euro, like everything they can get from
Right.
everybody for all the years that they basically kept telling them maybe next year, maybe next year. Now it's like now, bro.
Right. it's so funny that you mentioned it too, because you're just like, we don't know if they'll get any attention. We don't know if they'll people like it. You were never gonna know if you weren't even gonna give them the chance. If you were never gonna give them the light of day, which was kind of ironic or funny because they're doing pretty well, attention wise and everything,
Hmm.
without even giving like a sliver of a chance. So now that they have that chance, they're separate platforms and everything. I mean, I to me it's not shocking that it's been blowing up and everything, right? I think with everything, not just with Manchester City women, but just women's sports in general, right? Like you give people the platform, you give them a chance to watch it, you give people a chance to actually indulge in it. Chances are they'll actually like it because they're not going off of some predetermined assumptions and everything. So I mean, but you just gave me some new accounts to follow. I'm kind of slightly on strike on my women's team over there in Manchester. I was never a fan of the new coach, and then they've got
No, when they
so
stay,
many of my favorites have just
they
been
stay
up
on.
and left. So I'm just like, I need a new team, and I can't fathom Arsenal because everybody on my timeline's on Arsenal. So
We know so many Arsenal supporters. Shout out to Arsenal 86 BNP, like our new addition to Shades of Blue Network is an Arsenal podcast. But it's yeah, no, it's amazing. Hey, we will take as many people to come and support our baby blue baddies as possible.
is that what they call them? Baby blue baddies?
What
I'm
we call
about
That's
it.
that's what we call
That's
them.
what we call them.
I'm about it. I'm
Yeah.
about it then. Like I am about it.
There's a whole section, the Baby Blue Baddies section on the podcast. Has
Yeah.
its own little theme
I
music and everything.
I'm about it. I'm about it. I might be turning because I'm about it.
Let's
I'm
go.
a simple man who likes simple things.
I'm with you. Oh man. Okay. Well, do you cuz Tarek, I mean, you work for it. So it's like how much do you like even talking about the W outside of like, constantly having to be witty for interactions?
Yeah. Oh, to be honest, it kind of comes in ebbs and flows how much I like to talk about it, outside of work. I mean, some days when things are going cool or when there's like a big news thing that's exciting, like I kind of want to put in my own like 2 cents and everything. But honestly, lately, just because like the landscape of everything online, people are there's a lot of people that just need to go breathe some fresh air, take in the great outdoors, maybe touch that green substance on the ground. I believe it's called grass. But it, but but lately, sometimes I don't even really like to be involved in it because, like you said, I'm in it enough, and then sometimes just the discourse about everything is just like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I've tried very hard the last like couple months to find that right balance, right? Of just like I'll talk about it outside of work hours, which seems to be 24/7. Outside of work hours. But at the same time, like I very much try to be like if I'm going out with friends and everything, right? Or like if someone like just blows my cover, oh yeah, he works for the WNBA, and everyone's like, oh my god, how's it like for working for Angel Reese or with Angel Reese?
Yeah.
Fine. What's
Yeah.
she like?
Yeah.
Nice. It's kind of just like, all right, let me just go through the playbook of things I got to say. If they ask this, let me answer this way. So it really depends. So
I did
it kind
not
of just depends on everything.
You
Go
I
don't
ahead. I'm
did
sorry.
not put the name with because I've seen your work and I've probably interacted with it in that context. But when I came over here, I'm just thinking soccer, right? I'm not even thinking about where else I may have seen your work. And so now that he said
Well,
the
if it's not
W, I'm like,
WNBA stuff, I'm talking
oh,
about.
DT3 put it in the
If it's,
chat. Like truly, thank you for Hose Man. Like that is truly just a footy cultural staple now. Like I'm seeing Man City
yeah,
ads ones, and it's crazy. Like it's like wow, that's crazy.
yeah, that's probably. I've always joked around with my friends, where I'm just like, if I end up getting super famous or end up getting like a new job where it's making me a boatload of money, it is all because of a freaking famous Dex song and memes and the U.S. Women's National Team. That's going to be a hilarious ass story to tell to people in the future, and I kind of really want that to fucking happen, just so I can say it happened. But no, I'll be honest with you, I don't even know where that idea came from. It just did, and then shout out to state champs over in
Yeah.
in Kent, Ohio, with the shirts and everything, and now it's taken on a whole phenomenon where I was literally making like a regular like shirt, like just like on my little cricket machine, and I guess we had won. I had it on the background watching. I was like, oh, okay, cool, we won. Then my phone erupts. It's like Connor hit the music. I'm like, oh my god, like this has really become a thing now. So that's been kind of wild now. Everyone's just like, it's like, oh my god, Connor play the music. I'm like, I feel like that Bart meme on the Simpsons at this point. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
So, born and raised in Chicago?
yeah. So for the most part, born in Chicago, north side of the city. Moved out to the northwest suburbs right before middle school, and then for college went up to Wisconsin, and then came back once I graduated, and I've just been working in the city ever since, but still out in the northwest suburbs because they don't really pay me much in the social media world. So I mean,
That's,
luckily I got parents that are that I'm fortunate that they always still let me stay underneath their roof. So I mean, it all works out.
so I have a
It's
kid that
oh, I was gonna
is.
say, uh,
Oh, go ahead.
he went to school with Scarf Boy, Small World.
Oh,
I did.
bro.
I was actually his boss, so to speak, on campus TV and radio. So I was his
What's up?
boss.
No, I would say it's disappointing to hear that my kid is going to school for PR. She's got an internship with her university in their athletic department. So she did a whatever they're doing with the women's soccer and golf and whatever else. So I need her to make a bunch of money when she gets out. So
Well, PR, it might be there, right?
uh,
Like, I think it's they're two completely different worlds. Like, what PR does handles a lot more crap than I can even fathom that I have to do. So I would say PR is probably more solid
okay,
in
good.
what they have to do, and there will never be a shortage of PR people.
Mhm.
I feel like just
People keep making messes.
because everyone keeps making messes exactly, and someone's got to clean it up. So but no, I think your daughter is going to be completely fine, honestly. Like
Good.
people need PR, absolutely.
Okay, good. I need to keep some money in my pocket so I can.
Thank you for reassuring my show, bro. I appreciate it.
I
So
got
yeah, exactly. So you're from Chicago.
yes.
You work with the W. So when Angel Reese and or Camila Cardoza, any of the rookies, right? They show up to Chicago and they're like, "What should I eat?" What would you tell them? Where should they go if they say, "Hey, Chicago's known for its pizza"? Where are you gonna send them?
If I had to tell, first of all, I would probably ask them, "Are you sure you want my recommendations?" Because I don't live in like the city full time
Okay.
anymore. But then if the answer is yes, we're sure, my response is don't do the deep dish. Like I'm very much team deep dish is a tourism thing. Like it's just like
Yeah.
That's
that,
what.
Yeah.
like if you want to try it, if you haven't tried it already, do it.
I think you got to try it at least once, just to
Exactly.
because it's
Chicago deep dish is pretty elite, but that is not the pizza of Chicago. I will stand by that 10 toes. It's not. Like give me tavern style, give
yeah,
me give cut it up in squares and
squares.
everything.
Super.
Give me that huge ass white pizza box where on top it shows like the island of Italy. Give me that. Like that that's the pizza right there. So I'd probably send them to any pizza place like that. And then honestly for food, man, you can't really. I mean, you could just walk down the block in Pilsen, and I mean, if they're big Mexican food fans and everything, or just uh, uh, yeah, everywhere in Pilsen is just great. I think it really just depends. I'm still kind of going down my own little checklist of all
Okay.
right, different food spots that I want to try, but. I mean, I'd probably tell them like hit up every rooftop place you can. Not that they probably haven't already. A place that I always think that I would want to go to if I have the money to. There's that huge that restaurant. I can't remember what it's called at all, but I think it's in the John Hancock building. Just overlooks everything.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Yep.
uh,
I don't know
cannot
the name of it.
name of it, but I would say that. But no, there
Maybe
isn't like
up there
one
with
specific food
something too.
place. But yeah, like it's nice. I've had friends that have gone there. I've just never have, and I can't remember the name. But like, as I can't tell, I couldn't answer the question of one specific food place just because it's like it's
It's too
all
much, right?
good, and it's kind of depends on your cravings at that point. It's like, okay, do you want something chill? Do you want something with a little bit more glamour on the side of it? But so it really just depends. But I would the one certainty is I tell them like, do not think we all live and die by deep dish because we don't. That is the biggest myth I've ever heard.
Fair enough. I didn't know if he was going to throw Harold's out there or not. No, I'm just saying.
I mean, that's a given, right?
I'm just saying.
I mean that's an instant. Like, yes, you got to like they got to have the Harold, they got to have the mild sauce on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I'm a sucker for mild sauce. So every time I was just there the other day, I'm like, just
Are
give me
you are
give
you
me
a fan of Italian beef? Or that's like a Chicago thing too.
Chicago beef, yeah.
See, now y'all making me hungry, but yeah,
Yeah, okay. Because I was hoping you had a hot take there. I Italian beef. That was I dated a girl from Chicago for a little bit, and that was the one thing I took from my relationship with her. That time with her was her parents' Italian beef recipe.
no,
So
Italian beef is really good. There's actually okay, I like so there's one restaurant that I think is great. It's been around Chicago for years. I think it's been around since before like when my mom and dad were kids because my mom went there a lot when she was a kid. I can't remember the name of it, but they make like the probably the best burgers you've had and everything. They've made it's like fast food, but it's not. Like think Portillo's take away some of like the Italian beef stuff and everything, right? But think Portillo's, but that like everything there is just so good. Like it will put you to sleep in a
so
heartbeat.
feel
Like
free to reach out to your mom and get back to us later on social media
I
because
got you.
I'll
But
be in Chicago in a couple weeks for the PL and USA event, that Premier League event that's going on in
I'll
Chicago.
bet I'm actually gonna go to that because that's on my birthday weekend.
Oh,
So
let's go. Okay, we'll link up then. We'll link up.
But it's in the Beverly so it's in like the southish side of Chicago. So it's in the Beverly neighborhood. But man, that place is delicious. But Italian beefs you can't go wrong. What I've learned, like the good Italian beef places, right? They gotta have like still have like the old school signage where it kind of look where like they got the little bottom sign on it. It kind of looks like it's just like dangling, right? You got to have that. It has like the old school Coca Cola symbols. Kind of still looks like it's stuck in like 1970 or 80. Those are the best Italian beef places. Whether they're hole
So,
in the walls, little shacks, like that's where you got to go get them at.
so the place that I would go and get my Italian beefs at in Chicago is that it's called Jay's Beef.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. And I
Been
remember the first time I went there, I got in line and I went to order and I was like, and he was like, go to the back of the line. And I was like, what? Oh, you see that line behind you? We got people. They're busy. Please go, come back. I got you. And I did. I moved to the back. I was ready. Welcome to Chicago.
right, honestly. But no, so I mean, I hope to God Camila or Angel don't ever ask me for food recommendations. They've been here long enough, but because I would leave them
That would be
sick.
terrifying, right?
I
I
would leave
saw
them.
that quite a bit online. People, are them asking, or
Yeah,
you know, especially like the first couple weeks. They had just got there. Like you said, they've been there for a couple months at this point, so they probably know everywhere. But when you first got there, they were trying to figure it out. So yeah, that was just interesting.
as a staff, we were all trying to figure out to tell them too. We were just like,
Okay.
oh,
We don't want to mess this up.
what do we tell them? Like everyone's trying to figure out, like, okay, what do you like? What do you like? What do you like? All right, do we put this on? Do we tell them that? No, no. All right. So like, we all thought of that too during the draft. We were just like, damn, they're gonna like so much of the food here, and then it quickly went from that to, oh shit, where do we send them? Like, what do we tell them when they get here? So we thought about it for sure.
That's awesome.
Okay, well, before we get you out of here, uh, first off, let's quickly talk. I mean, do you want to talk about United? You have a pretty
Let's
big
do
match
it.
this
Let's
weekend.
do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
A very intense match this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not holding on to hope. I'm not expecting anything of the club. But what I will say is if you manage to do some damage, even nick a draw, I would appreciate that.
I would appreciate it too, to be completely honest with you. But no,
For those who
I
don't.
am so predetermined, right? Like I'm so just used to the fact that this team is so I can't even be mad at them because they're so inconsistent because it's almost just like a wasted bit of energy on my side. But for some reason we always seem to have this ability to just like really play up. Like when to really play up to the competition, and then the teams that we're supposed to like throttle or at least handle, we somehow make it interesting. But I think this is a big one for us on Sunday against Liverpool. I think if we really want to, and it's weird to say in what match week 3, for us to say like this is a match where we like it's kind of a need to have. You need to get a result from. If we want to have Champions League aspirations next season, or even I disagree with everyone's statements on here, but having like title charge aspirations this season, you got to go and get one on Sunday.
Yeah.
It would help if the injury bug would stop eating at us. Mount's gone again. Luke Shaw perpetually always hurt, but I'm calling for a result. I think we'll get one. I think we'll get one. I think we'll get the dub or the draw. I don't see us losing that one because that is one of the most. It's already the most important match that we could have on the season because that's going to be the one that tells us what are we going to be this season. Are we going to be fighting to stay in the top 8 again, or are we actually going to be like, okay, we're going to give some teams some fits and we could theoretically be in that top 4 hunt. We're not getting the title, but if we can hunt for that top 4, it starts on Sunday, and I'm confident in them, honestly.
Hey, I like that energy, though. I like that energy. Well, also, I would like before you go one more thing.
Yeah, what's up?
Please plug yourself if you want people. Let people know where they can find you, the things you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. So they can follow me on Twitter. It's at Connor Moore _7. If you want to, if you, that's where I just tweet my usual stream of consciousness. Mostly a lot of women's sports, a lot of women's soccer. It's going to be a lot of that on Overdrive these next few months. If you want to follow my work account, it's just the Chicago Sky. Just go follow them wherever. Same username everywhere, but. Yeah, but for me, it's just my name _7, my favorite number, and that's where you find me. I like to just talk about a lot of things: women's sports, NASCAR, music. I'm all over the place, but that's where they can find me.
Let's go. All right, homie. You have a good rest of your evening.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for having me.
And thanks for coming on.
All right. So it looks like we're just having a Manchester derby of FanFest Live because our next guest, and also speaking of Arsenal and Manchester United, shout out to Shirley's Plantain Show. I met our final guest at their live show at Legends Bar, which was a pretty cool place to stop at and watch the women's match before all of that went down. It was a wonderful way to begin my time in New York, visiting, being there for Manchester City's U.S. tour. Was this soccer podcast live event with a bunch of other football enthusiasts? Yeah, so bring on this homie. He is a Manchester United fan. He has a podcast of his own. So we're definitely gonna have to talk about that. Shady Gang, please give it up for Simo. What's up? Oh, hold on, you muted.
Can everybody hear me? Am I good?
There we go. There we go.
Perfect. Look, first off, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for giving me the opportunity to be on your illustrious show.
Oh, man,
Second off, I want to say I support the one true team in Manchester. We all love our king, Marcus Rashford, OBE. So I want to put that out there. I'm a Manchester
I've
United
never
fan
actually
with no
been to
qualms.
Manchester.
Wait, are y'all even
I've
in?
never actually been. I was gonna say I've never been, but everybody that I talk to from over there tell me that it's not even. You're not even actually in Manchester. You just wearing a name.
Listen, when I die, bury me in the Stretford end. That's all I care about.
You know what? I appreciate the.
Hey,
I
look,
appreciate
the last thing I'll say about Manchester and their players for right now. You guys mentioned company being at Bayern, company at Burnley. I don't think Bayern is his level. Nevertheless, Burnley, I think Accrington Stanley, they're number 22
Hold
in
on.
League Two.
We will not. We will not. We will not stand for Vincent Company slander on this show. That's what we will not do.
I like this
Look,
interview, though.
you could have picked a lot of people, and I would have just let that slide.
Okay.
But Vincent Company is probably one of the reasons why I am a City fan. I will not tolerate it. It will not. It will just not. Will not slide.
Hey, look,
Pick on Raheem Sterling. Pick on Raheem Sterling. Everybody else wants to right now. You can talk about him all day. Nobody's gonna have a problem. But just leave my guy Company out of this.
Bro.
look, Connor was being too nice. He was being way too nice. He was being too complimentary. I had to come with that hateful energy. Listen, I'm not here for it. Look, you see it? Red Devils. That's what we're about here.
Hey, you know what I will say? And I gotta give you guys props. Those the new jerseys, the white ones, the Adidas ones with the trefoil or whatever, those are fire. I hate, and hate's a strong word. I hate Manchester United, but those are fire.
Listen, my second team in Europe that I like to support is Drip Saint Germain, and it's because of the drip. That's it. It's because they always got nice gear, and the checkbook is unlimited, right? Anybody they want, they'll go out and get. So I levitate towards them. But United, these last 2 years, I want to say, when they reverted back to the old logo, it's been class. It's been class. But once again, thank you, gentlemen, for having me on.
Of course. Oh man.
Wait, I'm looking in the chat, and Ash is like, "Hold up, don't come for Raz either." If Raz was even considering, I don't think he was, but if he was even considering going to United, then he deserves any hate he gets. It just is what it is. But I understand, Ash. It's okay.
No, I don't think Raheem Sterling is like Carlos Tevez. I don't think he has the love where he could just jump between both and still be loved. I think he's going to lose a lot of goodwill at City if he does that.
Well, there's a lot of conversation between whether it be United, whether it be Arsenal. There's a lot of conversations around him right now. Again, he's making too much money. I probably wouldn't go nowhere if I was him. But it is what it is.
I think this is already like people who were just waiting to go at him have already gone at him. Like people are just going crazy off of a rumor. They're basically they've already destroyed and have ripped up all whatever positive thoughts of him.
Yeah, I'll say this: I got a Raheem Sterling little Funko Pop over there, so I've never had any hate for Raheem. But I will say, once he left and went to Chelsea, I mean, at that point, it was over with, right? So whatever he does after that, to me, doesn't matter because he's already left us. So if he goes to United, he goes to Arsenal, he goes wherever, I don't really care because it's all the same. You left, and it is all the same to me.
No, I would care if he went to United.
What's the difference? United versus Chelsea versus whatever.
You go back to Liverpool, like at least like you'd be like going back and blah blah. Even though they made it miserable there and the hate was awful, blah blah blah. But I at least like like we were talking about, if you like with Gundo, if you go back to your old work, I guess that makes sense. But you going to them. You going to them?
Now, Raheem also has a different pair of coworkers now if he were to go back to City. It's a whole different group of people. Yeah, the manager is still there, right? But the coworkers are now different. Yeah.
It's a completely different vibe. Yeah. Oh, no. I'm with
you.
So
talk to me about Joshua Zirkzee.
What can I say? One of the subjects I proposed was excellent haircuts. What more needs to be said, right? 6'3", strong gentleman, great haircut. Listen, his knee was 2 inches above where it should have been. Any other reality or world, if his knee is a little bit lower, we take that result.
I like it. Okay, so how did let's even start here. How did you become a United fan in the first place?
Yeah, okay. So United is obviously, a global club. It's huge. Everybody, I would say, knows about United. Listen, there's
what's that got to do with you?
I was affected. I was affected by their growth and the globalization of United, right? Obviously, Rooney being on all the FIFAs is gonna have something to do with that, right? Like there's I'm an older Gen Zer, right? And so I teeter that line where I still remember going out and watching highlights later in the day because I didn't have all the broadcasting rights. I'm Moroccan, right? As you can see, this right here, Raja Casablanca. I'll talk a little bit about that later. It's one of the greatest clubs in the world, one of the best African clubs. I got so much. I will get the eagle, green eagle, and alien tattooed on my chest if my mother wouldn't disown me, but that's another discussion. With United, I just remember seeing Rooney commercials. Rooney was the player I really fell in love with. Obviously, Cristiano was there at that time. I want to say 07, 08, winning the Champions League. I was too young for me to really understand the concept of just how great that was, but seeing the elders in my family, seeing people around me, how much they really appreciated and how much they loved United. I have an uncle of mine who to this day says Sir Alex Ferguson, no matter what, is the greatest manager of all time. And there's nothing you can say to sway him. It doesn't matter if you tell him, well, Pep, listen, he might go on a 5P, he's doing trebles with in different countries. Doesn't matter, Sir Alex Ferguson. So I would say my uncle Tofik was a pretty big influence on me supporting United. And like I said, it's when Sergio Ramos injured Mohamed Salah in the Champions League, my uncle hates Liverpool so much that he said, listen, he's at his job. He has to do what he has to do.
I like it. And typical American, I was playing FIFA and I saw Man City in the second division, and I was like, I too was a kid, and I was like, what? There's another team in Manchester, and they're blue. I love this logo. I love the shade of blue. Like you can see it now. Like look at it, how it's popping on the skin.
It's a nice color. It's a nice color. Sky blue, it's nice.
Right? It's sky. Like come on, man. Who does like it? And so yeah, I was just kind of all in then, and I hopped on the team and just the players on it. A fair amount of them looked like me, which I wasn't expecting. I didn't know. I was just like a kid playing a. That was really cool. And I also played rugby growing up. So that kind of like doubled down me into just the whole alternative sports here in America. But like you said, it was very tough to watch anything for a very long time. And I would make do with what I could. And just every year I've taken it more and more seriously and dived in. I don't have the like wealth of knowledge or the uncles or cousins and things like that. So I'm just doing what I can to really soak up as much of the culture and understanding as possible. And, it's been a fun ride.
I will say it helped a lot. Being from a different country and being here, you don't have access to all the channels. And so a lot of the time you got to go and get the satellite. And so when you set up the satellite, now you start getting all the international channels. You're stealing cable. You're having a good time. And so that helped out a lot with being able to see different teams. So I remember one of my earliest random Champions League memories is like watching a random game. I don't remember who the other team was, but I vividly remember Dynamo Zagreb was playing. And so it was just very cool to see it. I'm here in right outside DC. I'm in the DMV. So to see it in Arabic being transported over through the satellite and watching a Dynamo Zagreb game was pretty cool. And I think that just helped me love the international aspect of the sport so much.
Yeah, that's dope. And I have a homie, he's Moroccan, in Morocco right now for a friend of his. He's getting married. And I've just been watching everything that he's posting, and the amount of random places he's been where people are playing soccer or kicking a tiny ball around or something. It's really cool. And also Morocco, as a football country, successfully within the last decade or two. I mean, obviously they have a historic, but every single major competition, I feel like they've made more and more noise. Like they went from being this kind of dark horse to now it's just no, you got to respect them. They're going to be fucking trouble. And I've always rooted for Morocco just because, I feel like I root for as many African teams.
You'll have a permanent spot on Simo Speaks from here on out. That's all you had to say.
He didn't even have to name drop any players.
Listen, you just have to name drop the country. That's good enough for me. It's not too late for you too. Come on.
I mean,
I don't know. To see, I'm still waiting for you to apologize to Vinny Company. I need the apology to be just as loud as the disrespect, my good sir.
Fair enough. But
No,
I will say,
but no,
do you think Company apologized in that last video that just came out of Company talking to the players? He had
no.
to stick by what he
Actually,
said.
I will say I guess I was a little disappointed. Not because again, being a manager, you gotta be, you don't have to be gruff or aggressive, but I mean, you got to know what you're talking about, and you got to hold people to a high standard, right? At this level, you got to meet the standard. And if you're not, I got to call you out and force you to come up. So I get that, but it was just a different look. It was a different look that I imagine if you were. So that's what he's doing as a manager. Just imagine being a player, being the right back or whoever that made a mistake and cost a goal, and you go into the locker room at halftime. He was probably giving it to you. So yeah, it was a little crazy, but I'm always going to be a Vinny Company fan.
I just want to know, like, because we're all talking about the same video where he went at the guy, but like, have we seen more? Have they kept releasing videos of him specifically yelling at people? Because
Well,
it was yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt, but like I will say, look, the only thing I think that's really different now versus like what 25 years ago is that there's a PR, like there's a social media team that's recording that, right? But how is that different than the hair dryer treatment, right? Sir Alex Ferguson threw a boot at David Beckham. I think that's a bit worse than yelling at somebody.
Like, especially me playing rugby growing up, that was my manager. That was my coach. That's how he talked to us during practice. Like, if there's a place where I can be as like radically, obviously throughout history of many sports, people go way too far, but if there is one place where you can be like radically honest, and honestly, it's fucking Burnley, bro. If there's a place where you have to be like, you guys are being pieces of fucking shit, this is why you're here, you over here bitching and moaning and whining, if you have to go at somebody, no, don't protect this little bitch, he's a bitch. Like, that's what he was doing.
I've gotten soft in my old age. I got girls, I'm a girl dad, but I will tell you that as a kid, I was born in Indiana, just for the record. But I said I could never go there because again, basketball was my first love. I was probably never good enough.
So you loved Hoosiers?
No, as a matter of fact, I would never have gone there. I said I would never go there because they had Bobby Knight. And what you're not going to do is throw a chair at me. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
that I was not going to go for. Right,
manager, you are.
So yeah, no. But I ended up moving away. My dad was in the Army, so we lived all over. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, no, I could never have played there.
Listen, I watched the Amazon documentary. As much love I'll show to Man City ever, the Company seems like a pretty cool guy to play with. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, he's a dope dude. So we're talking about Morocco. Who is your favorite player for playing for the country?
Right now, currently, or all time? Right now, I would say favorite player when he's fit and when he's playing, I think is Dinu Nahi. He plays for Olympique Marseille. I think he's the most creative player. I think he's the most fun to watch. I think if he could stay fit, the ability is availability, but he can't stay available. But I think he's the most pure footballer in terms of technique. But in terms of explosiveness, right now, Hakimi under Luis Enrique is just balling out. That fullback position, he's getting goals like he's playing. He's supposed to be playing in that final third when he's supposed to. It's cool to see him really shift into that dynamic role, kind of what he was doing at Inter for that one season.
So there was some discussion, I don't know, early in the transfer window about him potentially ending up at City. How bad would you have hated that? Because you would have had to root for us at that point.
No, I probably wouldn't. Yeah, like for example, Amrabat, right? Amrabat's a Moroccan at United, and like my friends every morning, every Saturday, every Premier League morning, hey, good morning, Amrabat is shit, good morning, Amrabat sucks, and so like halfway through, I was like, I'm off this guy. I'm sick of this guy. This guy's getting high before the games. He's smoking a little bit. So I can't imagine how much I would start to hate Hakimi. It might start affecting me. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't affect me when it comes to the national team. I can't lie. I can't say that.
Yeah, no, Hakimi's a baller.
I was gonna say that.
Wow.
from the outside looking in, Hakimi's the big name, right? So it's easy to say Hakimi, right? And that's why I asked who was yours, because you would know it more intimately than I would, of course. But I think he had some kind of a personal issue. So I think some people kind of got off him a little bit, but
Yeah, I think there is a problematic history there, as with a lot of players, and when it comes to no and etc. So
I think
it's one of those.
other than that, it's like he would be the dude that I would bring in, because he's a right back, right?
I guess I wasn't aware of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
he'd be a bomb right back, bombing up and down the wing. Oh my god, could you imagine what Pep could get out of that guy?
Yeah, I already don't hate watching City, right? Because you're like, wow, that was a good pass, and you're like, I'm turning this shit off. I'm not watching this.
Oh, wait. Brahim Diaz is Moroccan?
Well, look, that was somebody. So I first started the podcast during the last African Cup of Nations tournament, and after the tournament was over, I made a little bit of a diaspora who we could get if possible, and the two big names that were on the list were Lamine Yamal at that point, and then Brahim Diaz, right? Because Lamine's dad is Moroccan. With Brahim, he had only played one game professionally. He was like one of those capped and dropped kind of situations. So you can make the appeal to FIFA, but he hasn't played in a real African tournament. So when I saw that he was up for African Player of the Year, like it was just like little rumors, feelers out there. I was not a fan of that at all. Like I'm not. Lookman, I would have given it to Lookman. It's one of those things that
Yeah.
PR works harder sometimes than I guess results on the pitch do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Lookman, and he's had a wonderful season and so much success. Like truly, just and that's the amount of players like Lookman and many others who were kind of hated on during their time in the Premier League, and then they left and just thrived. And I love to see that, because like, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of a club in the Premier League, but some people, they get a little like tunnel vision when it comes to the Premier League and its greatness.
And I don't even like to touch this topic because
Understand?
my club is notorious for having players leave and level up and get better after they leave. There's a certain winger, Angel Di Maria, my boy Alan. He loved Di Maria, and so when we talk, oh man, definition of a crash out when it comes to Di Maria. He cannot stand that guy. He says he doesn't have the minerals. He says he doesn't have the gall, the personality, the soul, none of it. But you saw what he did at PSG. You saw what he's done at the international level. So no, I don't, like you said, I don't like getting tunnel vision by the Prem at all. I don't think it's a good barometer for a player's skill, especially if a player has hit multiple different leagues, right? They've jumped from league to league and they've adapted and still continuing to grow or be at a sustainable rate. I don't think it's fair to then say, oh, he didn't play in the Prem, or he didn't work out in the Prem, that's not a good player. And just to wrap up my point, that's to everybody that tells me Ashraf Hakimi is not a top 5 right back in the world because he doesn't play in the Prem. So that's how I wanted to bring it all back.
Hey, look at that! You can tell you're a pro. Okay, I mean, let's talk about your podcast though. Simo Speaks. Like,
so it's like it's an idea I had the summer of 2023. Arsenal played the MLS All Stars.
Oh yes,
in DC, and it was yeah. And so there was a like a little party afterwards, a little get together, and me and a close friend of mine, EV, he was on my Real Madrid recap. He's a huge Madrid fan. I tell him, one of the greediest fan bases on earth, right? Like I would love nothing more for 116 charges to go to Madrid, but it's one of those things. I started speaking more. Just it was a big soccer group of people there because it was right after the Arsenal game, and I was having really lively conversations. And I was like, man, everybody here is from the DMV. We all really like the sport. Why not just create a kind of like a platform for different people from the DMV to come on and speak about what they want to? So on my show personally, everybody is from the DMV originally, right? So a lot of them are children of immigrants or immigrants, but raised in the DMV, and it's only about 3 of us that are United fans. There's more Liverpool fans, there's more Arsenal fans, and I try to have like a rotating group of my friends and different people that just love sports. So last week's episode was Coach from the Shirtless Plantain Show, so I got to interview him a bit, ask him about his first memories with Arsenal and how he really got to love the team. We do little games here and there, like build your own 11 of your all-time, and so it really is sort of analytical, but it's more so just to really shoot the shit and just have a good time on camera.
I love it. it's I'm always jealous because we're City fans. Coach is he's nice to us. But that's a
He's being
big
political. He's being political because we're all in the same sphere of the world. You know, he can't really say what he wants.
no, he just doesn't stand Man City, and so it's like he just keeps us away because he doesn't know what he can and can't say with us. So he's like when he comes to us, like at the thing, he came to me and he was just like, "Hey, I really do appreciate you coming here." But yeah, it's his hate for Man City is real. So he's just like, I can't stand it, be around for you too long, or else I start getting the shakes, and it's like, respect, respect. Oh man, okay. So let's have you talk about this match. Like, how do you see the game against Liverpool going? Like, are you positive? Are you looking forward to this match? Because it, I'll just say from my end, it's really a lose lose for me because, like, I don't really want to see either team happy, and so like a draw is what I want. But I really want Liverpool to lose because I think United's going to struggle more this year than Liverpool. So like it's just a needy
You're just
type.
doing
He's
a
trying to
numbers
be
game.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
for you,
trying
it's
to
a numbers
He
game.
doesn't think you guys are going to be any good, so he'd rather Liverpool. That's what he's really trying to say.
I've tuned into a few episodes before this one. I know what the show you're just trying to put on for me, but I get it. It's fine. You know, I want to reluctantly say we're going to pick up 3 points at home.
Let's go.
Yeah, no, I don't think top 8. I know Connor was saying he thinks we'll be more in the top. I think top 4 is where we're going to be. I definitely believe Ineos has came in, plugged some holes. I'm not a fan of Ten Hag bringing in Delict like 20 minutes at the end of the game. I think with center back should start the whole game. So I think it's still a little bit of technical things that he needs to fix, but it's unfortunate. You pay 60 million for a teenager and then they break their foot, Lenny Yoro in this case as a center back. But you can't really control that, right? But in terms of the new signings, I think Delict has been great. I think Moroccan Nusser Mazraoui has been fantastic. Thank God he's not at Bayern working for company. Oh my goodness. So I do like some of the signings we make. I'm really happy about Ahmad starting. I think that's really good for us. I was nervous about his pace. I don't think he's the fastest guy, but he's proven me wrong. He's doing what he needs to do. Nusser Mazraoui assisted him for a great goal. The one sore spot I have, something that I'm not, I'm hesitant about this year is Rashford, right? I love the guy, but I do think that times kind of, he's a great player, but like you got to give us something or else it's not going to be good. Like you got to do something.
So if you're the manager, if you're ETH, you're planning for the game, do you start Rashford or do you start Garnacho?
I start Rashford, but that's me. Yeah, I start Rashford. Also, I don't know how well they're doing in training, right? I'm not there, but if Garnacho is outperforming Rashford by a mile, then obviously Garnacho. But for now, I would do Rashford. He's played that fixture so many times before, and I feel like that kind of mental stuff matters a bit. He's a Mancunian academy, so that's a fixture that's going to mean more to him a bit than obviously Garnacho's academy, but he came to the academy at 16, 17 years old. It's not the same as being 6 years old, and so it's one of those things where unless Garnacho is in a purple patch, this is like a fixture that's halfway through the season. I'm going with Rashford for now, just because it's still so fresh and so early.
Okay. Well, before we get you out of here, please one more time, plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you and your show.
You can find me on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube. It's Simo, Simo Speaks. I cover Manchester United. I cover combat sports, so UFC, and we dabble into boxing a little bit. I cover Morocco, and I cover a lot of African soccer and African sport as a total. On my YouTube channel, I do have a lot of old AFCON fixtures from 2006, 2007, 2008 that I've uploaded in full. So if you ever want to watch Libya versus Egypt, Nigeria versus Tunisia, or a different conglomeration, it's on my YouTube channel. 480p, sorry, not HD.
Hey, we know what you got. Do what you got to do, right? Especially for the culture. All right, homie. Well, please. I mean, we'll be in touch. I feel like I need to bring this energy for a Breaking Bread. So when we face each other, we do match previews, and I bring somebody on from the other team. So I'm gonna bring you on for United because these last few ones, it's been nice, it's been polite, and I've been trying to be spicy. I've been spicy on it. I've been trying to get them, but they're like, I'm being nice back. Nah, bro, we need to be shooting those shots back and forth.
No, I got you. I know what I'm doing. I got it.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
You have a good rest of your night.
Appreciate it,
You
man.
do the same.
Great.
Yes. Oh man, what a show! Shout out to our guests, Ash, Connor, Simo. We will be back next week with amazing special guests that I know off the top of my head, and I am definitely not looking it up right now.
Although we can hear the pages turning.
Huh?
What pages? What are you talking about?
So shout out to Andy Diasa, Alex Winley, and Douglas Rea Ciron. Yes, my awful handwriting. I didn't just throw a book. We out here. Oh man. Yeah, just tap in with and also shout out to everybody who's listening to the podcast audio version of this, obviously in the future. Present for you right now listening. Shout out to you. We are out of here. We will be back Saturday morning. Is that when the game is? Saturday? Sunday?
It's
I know.
Saturday. I think it's Saturday.
Yes, Saturday 9, something like that. I'll post about it. You know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.